Right, so we've been busy. My apologies for not finishing off the videos last season. I'll be honest, it was just kind of getting to that point where we were doing a samey thing, and I wasn't really doing much on the car itself. So doing the bits and pieces on the car itself is what, you know, I enjoy most out of it all, I guess. I guess I'm an engineer more than apparently a racing driver. But ultimately, we completed the season. Steady improvement, slowly steady improvement, but I don't know if that was me or the car or a mix of it. We were developing it, as you know. So the penultimate race, we managed to actually get a little bit of silverware. Quite proud of that. Nice little trophy. And we came third overall, only because people kept breaking down and falling off, but it doesn't matter. We got a trophy. So yeah, that's kind of where we were at last year. We sort of gently progressed, or I feel we did. I certainly felt less and less nervous every time we went out, which is a massive bonus, really, because the first couple of races, I don't mind telling you, I just sat in the car very, very nervous. But I've learned to kind of trust the car, I guess, or trust that it's not going to, you know, shit itself on me or whatever. So yeah, moving forward, this next season, we do have a racing car, you know, of sorts. Admittedly, it was like a 3-month build, so there was lots of stuff that I'd have liked to have done that we never did. So effectively, what we had was a strong road car that we could go racing with that was manual. I think we could probably safely say that. So I think what we're going to try and do now, now we've got a bit of time, is convert it into a racing car. And hopefully, along that little journey, I'm going to try and get a bit of training and maybe even get a video game with a steering wheel and such, so that at least I can learn the track, because I always feel like we're heading on. I've watched a couple of YouTube bits and I roughly know that there's a left and then a right and there might be a straight. So I'm very, whenever we're arriving to these places, I'm on the back foot, I must say. So that is me. That's the, you know, the bag of meat stuck behind the steering wheel. That problem I can deal with. The car. So I'll give you a brief outline of what we're going to try and do for next season. Again, we haven't got to go to the bother of, you know, roll cage. It was like a 3-week solid work for me and Spike. So we're quite fortunate in that we haven't got on to do any of that. And we've done various bits over the season, you know, getting some cambering on the front wheels and messing around with the back, all of those things. So my two problems are the two things that I wanted to resolve first. So my two major problems that we sort of kept having this year were weight. Not me, the car. So we were always like 100k over at least, minimum. More often than not, every time we were weighed, which is 3 times, we were like 120 kilos. So 120 kilos is massive, you know. So we got to lose a lot of weight. So that's easy. Hence why all the panels are off the car right now. We're hoping carbon fibre wing, carbon fibre bonnet, carbon fibre bonnet, various other bits of carbon fibre. We're hoping that's going to shave quite a bit of weight out. We're also going to go through, you know, essentially it's a road car. We didn't concentrate too much on losing a lot of stuff. So we're going to go around and lose quite a lot of stuff. Things that are steel, we're going to change into aluminium or carbon. We're going to get the vehicle up in the air, and we're going to shave out all of the underseal that's on it, because it's essentially a road car. So we're going to get rid of all of that. And we're hoping that in itself is going to lose us quite a bit of weight. Whilst it's up, like I say, we've got this weight issue. Whilst it's up, we are going to take the opportunity to move the engine back. I'm aiming for about 100, 120 mil, and I think by rough calculations, that will be as optimum as I can get to a 50-50 split. Hopefully, that will balance the car up nicely for me, and it'll feel like a racing car rather than a road car, which is what it is. So we're looking forward to that. So yeah, ultimately, lots and lots to do with weight. We're going to try and put some carbon boot lid as well. Just hopefully those bolt-on bits will save me a significant amount of weight. The bonnet by itself is hugely heavy. It's a 2-man lift, this bloody thing. I've cut loads out the back of it, but it's just a significant mass. It's lots of real estate, the bonnet on this thing. So yeah, hopefully that's going to lose us a lot of weight. We're then going to move on to wheels, hopefully get some aftermarket wheels, again, a bit more lightweight. One of the things we had this year was like sort of hit a panel. So we had to get a panel. Fortunately for us, the boys at Auto Reserve Jaguar sent us a new panel, and again, Swallows have been really good with panels. But ultimately, if you go on and Google XKR X100 front wing, and you'll find that most of them are about 1,500 quid. So having a carbon fibre wing that we can make ourselves is a cost-saving exercise as well. So hopefully, all of the carbon bits will be hopefully straightforward enough. But that's that. So yeah, weight balance and losing weight. Engine back, a few other little bits and pieces. So the other thing that I've been struggling with every time, pretty much, we'll go out, and every time we have to go around and regrid, I suffer big time with engine temperatures. We've got the original rad in it, and I've done various bits over the course of the season to try and sort of counteract this coolant temperature. Now, you're probably aware, but it's charge cooled. So it's a completely separate water system, separate radiator, and all the rest of those things. But when you're not shifting, when you're not moving, everything just saturates heat. To lose that heat out of that coolant, or either of them, it takes laps. So I'm struggling with that, to be honest. So I've decided that we're gonna spend a bit of time on a cooling system. We are going to split it bank for bank. We're going to lose the mechanical water pump. We're going to lose that radiator. And because we're going to have this much extra room here, we're going to have another 100 millimeters here. I'm hoping that we can run 2 radiators, run everything in AN lines, AN fittings, and then just have 2 completely separate water systems, 2 separate electric water pumps that the max will keep it bank to bank temperature controlled. So that's the current plan. I've no doubt that will change. But if you've been following this series, you'll probably know that I'd rather just, we'll just go in and we'll just try and do things as good as we can given the time. Obviously, we've got a budget, so I can't just go, willy-nilly throwing loads of money around. But essentially, I think that this is money well spent. So those are my 2 priorities. Those are what we need to get done. We've got the Silverstone GP as our first race next year. Really excited to do that. At least try and get more than my 2 laps of last season before I grenaded the engine. So yeah, like the Silverstone GP, those are my priorities. Those are the things I desperately want to do. Extra things if we get time. I want to change air to air. I really, really hate this charge cooled system. It was never part of the plan. As you're probably aware, if you've watched it, I originally wanted to go normally aspirated and go into either Group B or C. But I've just got the proper bug now for the supercharger. It just excites me. It makes me smile. It makes me laugh. I genuinely don't care if I don't get any plastic trophies because I'm flying down the straight and it is howling its little knickers off at me, and I genuinely are just smiling from ear to ear. I just really love it. So we're going to keep the supercharger. I want to get busy with that. I want to do some stuff. I want to go air to air. I want to lose the charge coolers. I want to do some other stuff. We're a bit knackered at the moment. We had a bit of a meeting at the end of last season, and there's going to be some limitations by the sounds of it with supercharged cars. So we don't know what that is yet. It may be throttle bodies. We just don't know. So I'm hoping they're not going to restrict me too much. It'd be a bit of a shame if it is, because the car isn't really, everything else on the grid has been developed over the years. Lots and lots of money has been spent. So it'd be a real shame, I think, if we can't develop the car while it's in its infancy. But, we'll just have to see. We'll suck it and see. Like, hopefully, the regs will, give us enough room, bit of wiggle room to have a play with it, because I've genuinely been gutted. But, if they do, they do. We can do this season and then maybe move to something else. The CTCRC do some other championships that we could go in. If we went into Thunders, then I think we could run like a DCT gearbox as well from a BMW, which I'd really, really love to do. I'd be gagging to put one on a V8, but we'll suck it and see. This season, we've got more than enough to do. So yeah, hopefully we can go air to air. We can do something with that. I'd really, really like to just, we're going out, and as the temperatures increase, we're losing power. Again, great system for a road car, but we are just on the power all the time, and it's just saturating heat in there, and it can't lose it. We've got a big front radiator on here already that's very separate to everything else, just for that system, but still uprated water pump, all of those things, but we just can't get it out of the car quick enough. So that's that. So that I'd love to deal with. The other thing is exhaust manifolds. I'd love to get some 4-branch manifolds on there. Again, I haven't worried or bothered about doing anything exhaust-wise really, because we're going to move the engine back and everything that we do to it as it stands, no good. So if time permits, or certainly later in the year, that will be done, because I really want some nice long headers on there, try and release a few more ponies as well. Then brakes and wheels. So brakes and wheels, we want some big brakes. Again, we've got OEM calipers on there with some uprated pads, but I'd really like to explore some different brake options. Been talking with Tom from Swallows, and he's got some nice ideas for me. So that will be on the cards. Really looking forward to that. Everything else then, I got some pipe dreams. I'd really love to have some uprated external reservoir shock absorbers, but you know, my budget only goes so far, sadly, so maybe next year. So yeah, that's where we're at. So hopefully now I will flick to doing whatever I happen to be doing first. As you can see, I've already pulled the panels off. So yeah, that's where we're at now. Let's go and do something.
Uncle Spike's been busy. He's designed this back plate, which is where the water pump would be, and he's designed these where the crossover pipe would be with the thermostat. So we've got these made up, which are just this is AN16, AN16, and we've got an AN20 to go on one of these somewhere. Oh yeah, he's still in that pipe. So we're going to go and get those sort of welded in there. I can't do one of these. We've got to make an extension to go through where the supercharger belt is, but yeah, so let's get these done.
There you go. So this is my my spare engine again. We got this one from Auto Reserve, like a low mileage engine. This is one that we're actually going to put in the vehicle, but these we're going to just counterbore these just against the welds. They're just very tight. You'd know they would hit, so just going to counterbore them so that the bolt has got like a nice flat surface to go on. But I've not done this one yet, because this one's got to have something slightly different because of the supercharger pulley's just gonna be here, so we'll probably have to come in round the other side. But again, it's, you know, it's no major biggie. These two will miss, so we might be able to get away with like a smaller fitting here and just move that down. But either way, it's job done there as far as I'm concerned. So we're doing carbon, everything else, so seems sensible to do a carbon one of these. I've never really liked the way this is anyway, so I've trimmed this back out. I've obviously added that in. I've glued that in now, so I'm going to unscrew. For some reason the audio cut out here, and I don't honestly recall what I was dribbling on about, but something about cutting these out and covering the back of those with something else so that we can lay the carbon on, I imagine. So yeah, I'll look out for this in the future. Right then, we're going to make some carbon fibre stuff, aren't we, guys?
Yeah.
Those gloves look a bit big for you, Alf. Are they all right?
Yeah.
We've sellotaped them up, haven't we?
Yeah.
Safety first. Right, so what we need to do first, we need to mix some of this stuff up. So we've got our scale, we'll do one at a time. And then we need to mix this 100 to 30. So we've got 100 grams of this in. And then you watch how many it is. Good? Nearly.
Oh, you went over.
Alright, Tiger, settle down.
You did 110.
Well, actually, it doesn't matter because I'm going to mix two lots up. So
We need 200.
yeah, we'll mix 200. That's that going to be 100 now. Oh, 101, right. And then this, we need to put in 30 grams. And we've got slow power now, so it'll give us some time to do it. Right, so that's got to read 130 now. Right, so there's one for you, obviously. If you have that one, right, you've got to dip it in and paint all of this, alright?
Okay.
So, gently. Sticks. There you go now. Right, all good, Sammy? Yeah. Tool sheets! Right then, okay, so don't put it down on it yet.
Okay.
But try and keep it somewhere in the middle. So, has it got plenty of room your side?
Yep.
Okay, but the top and the bottom. So if you go, yeah, that looks, so move up to your left a bit. That's it, right. So yeah, you're right then, sorry. That's it, perfect. And then we go down gently there. Alright.
Yep.
Reach all the way to the end on yours.
Yep.
Well, that's bloody handy, isn't it? Right, and then we just push it all in. And then we get the old that's it. Well done. Fine job. That's it. Put it forward, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, settle down. It's fun stuff, this.
Yeah.
There. So it's anchored in sandwich. That's it. Nice job. You've got to be like that, guys. This is very time consuming, very boring, but you get something that's good at the end. Lightweight race car parts, so we're all up with it, really. I hope so. Better do. Better do, eh? That plastic trophy. Awesome coffee. Sandy, isn't it?
Oh.
You alright?
Yeah.
Me and Sammy are chief laminators. And these are chief, well, we're putting the stuff on.
You're on camera, Mummy.
Well, Mummy's come in with some wine, we'll make coffee. Unbelievable.
When did you realize you're holding it? You just went, Mummy, there's 5 calories in that.
There you go, guys. What do you think of that? You've done well?
Yeah.
It's all bagged up in it. We've made a hell of a mess. We've got stuff everywhere, but nobody's got anything in their eyes. No, and hopefully tomorrow.
We didn't eat it either.
And we didn't eat it either, nope. So hopefully, devac that in the morning, gold. See how it goes. We can see how far forward the engine is naturally in the OEM vehicle, so we can see why we can get quite a lot of weight to the back of the car by moving this. Normally there is like a scuttle panel that comes around here, but yeah, so hopefully momentarily there'll be another view with it back further. Okay, so I'm just pulling off everything from under the car in order to move this engine back out. I'm getting all the stuff from underneath done because the kids want to come out and help me pull the motor out, put the new one in, so I'm just doing all the under the car stuff done. So a few things to think about when we're moving an engine back in any rear-wheel drive car. The obvious main one is prop shaft. Spoke very briefly about that. We're just going to get that shortened, hopefully by Dave Mack prop shafts. Electrical. Obviously some of the wiring isn't going to fit. Again, planning on rewiring the car, so not bothered. Water, coolant. Again, I've spoke very briefly about what we're planning on doing with the water and the cooling system, so we've got to redesign the whole system anyway. So all of those things I'm kind of disregarding at this point. So our main problems are going to be some. Ideally, I'd like to move the engine down as far as I can at the same time, but we'll see how that goes. I haven't got much room. So obviously we've got this gap here. Now, when we put this engine in, it was from an S-Type. And at the time, I'd noticed that the S-Type R has a like a shorter sump here, and has like an oil filter housing on the front rather than on the side, like ours does. So it got me thinking at the time. I wonder if we could use the S-Type engine or the S-Type sump and bottom girdle arrangement and move it back. So that's essentially what we're going to do. We're going to use the S-Type sump and girdle and see where that allows us to put it. So first things first, obviously, let's get this motor out of this car. moved the motor back as far as I dare, and I got oodles of room here now. So I'm just gonna. I basically moved. I've had to modify this bracket just very slightly, just on the edges, just to sort of taper it in with the vehicle. So I'm now just going to mark up through there. I obviously clean them off, put some tape under, going to mask them up, drill them through, just obviously make sure that it's parallel, and then that's the gearbox mount pretty much done. Although I am going to lower it down a bit. I'm going to sort of make some spaces to go under here and lower it down. Probably, I reckon, like 7 or 8 millimeters. Every little helps, doesn't it? You know, when in Rome, as I'm here doing it anyway, just as well be done. So yeah, let's do that. Oh, there we go. So that's basically in situ. That's where it's going to end up. So I have gained myself just over 70 millimeters in the end. So really happy. All I've got to do now really is draw up some engine mounts. We'll get them water cut or laser cut, weld them up. Then the engine's in and mounted essentially. And I've just got to dick about doing all the other things. So I'm going to have a look at my radiator situation now and see what I can do with that. A fun job getting all this undersealing crap. There's some 3 kilos to have here, so should have done it when we first did the car really, but we ran out of time. So when in Rome and all that, we're under here anyway, so I'm going to scrape all this off, probably paint it white at the same time. But this is hours of just crap. So I've been at this now for about a day. Mate of mine just comes up and says, what are you doing that with a death wheel for? What do you mean? Why are you doing that with a death wheel? Oh, then that's the only option, I suppose. Got a tool for that, says Austin. What do you mean you've got a tool for that? Yeah, Snap-on make a tool for that. It's got little hooks in and it just pulls it all off, leaves the metal in perfect condition. Minutes it takes. I think painting the floor on a car underneath is the worst job in the world. But that's one coat of nice tractor white, gloss white paint on there. So yeah, get another coat on first thing in the morning, and hopefully that's the floor done. I'm gonna do all the edges afterwards. Just want to get this in so I can get the transmission tunnel in, and then I'll pull the skirts off because I've no doubt we're going to be making some carbon ones of those as well. Why not, eh? It's a carbon fibre version after all. So I built myself up a simulator, and I thought I'd put it in our bedroom so that the kids don't play with it too much. So what seems to be happening is they seem to be playing with it all the time. So yes, I do get the occasional go, don't I, guys? Oh, you alright, Else?
Yeah.
Else is just demonstrating the brand's GP. So all we did really was picked up the basics. We got like I think it's a Thrustmaster TXL something belt drive steering wheel, and it came with this. Got this all second hand. Just 3 Samsung 32-inch TVs, and we got various games on, like an old mild gaming PC. It's all right for, you know, it's not to the spec that, like, you know, some proper sim racers are playing with, but for me to learn the track and for this little shit to beat my lap times, it's absolutely perfect. So we're really happy with that. Basically, Sammy's just doing the Brands Hatch GP track in a Lotus. But yeah, so we're happy with that, really. Well, Alfie, one of the good things, we can configure the steering wheel. He can't reach the pedals, so we've configured the buttons on the steering wheel. So he's just testing out Oldham Park in a Mark 1 Escort. You're in the sandpit, mate. Here. That's fair enough. Whoa! Right, that's it for this episode. Merry Christmas. Have a good New Year. And the next video we'll be doing some more stuff to the old Jag, I suppose. So right, see you later. Thanks ever so much. Please like and subscribe. You have to move over, mate. The camera ain't that way. That's it. Say bye. See you later. Cheers. Like and subscribe and all that. Thank you.